Coco Gauff is back at Pierre. Francesco Favino 10 stunning words that shocked the sports world. It started as a whisper in the sports world, a casual remark by an Italian actor Pierre. Francesco Favino that somehow found its way into the heart of tennis. No one could have predicted that the young American champion Coco Gauff would respond. But when she did, she delivered 10 words so powerful, so precise that they shook the entire global sports community. Her words, I don't need your script to tell my story. Those 10 words became a rallying cry, not just for athletes, but for dreamers, artists, and anyone who's ever been told who they're supposed to be. This is a story of how a fleeting comment turned into a movement, and how Coco Gauff, with her trademark poise and authenticity, once again prove that greatness isn't just measured in trophies, but in truth. Clap aboard the spark. Favino's comment that started it. Oh, Pier Francesco Favino, Italy's leading man known for his intense performances and powerful voice, was doing a press tour for his new sports drama, The Silence of Victory. During an interview in Rome, a journalist asked him what he thought about the new generation of athletes and how fame was changing their personalities. Favino smiled, then said words that would ignite the storm. Athletes today are performers too, some more interested in applause and in sport. They act like stars instead of players. It was an innocent comment, or so it seemed, but the quote spread fast, especially after a sports blogger captioned it. Favino says, modern athletes care more about fame in the game. The remark exploded. Across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, fans debated, athletes reacted, and tennis circles buzzed, especially since it came during a week when Coco Gauff was on a winning streak and dominating. Headlines: Tennis the Rising Flame, Coco Gauff's victory, and a question that changed everything. Just 2 days after Favino's interview, Gauff stepped onto court in Paris for a thrilling semifinal match. The stadium was packed. She played with the poise of a champion. Crisp footwork, lethal backhand, unbreakable focus. She won 6-36 to 4. But what came next would become one of the most unforgettable moments in modern sports press history. After the match, she entered the post-game interview room. Reporters asked the usual questions about her serve, her strategy, her upcoming final. And then one journalist asked with smirk, Coco, Pier Francesco Favino recently said, modern athletes act more like celebrities and competitors. Do you think he was talking about players like you? The room fell silent. Cameras zoomed in. Coco's eyes locked on the reporter for 3 seconds. She didn't move. Then, with calm conviction, she leaned into the microphone and said, I don't need your script to tell my story. 10 words. No shouting, no sarcasm, just pure unfiltered power. High voltage. The shockwave, the silence that followed was electric. Then the reporters erupted. Hands flew up. Whispers filled the air, and the quote raced to the internet like wildfire. Within minutes, hashtag Coco and hashtag 10-word were trending worldwide. Sports analysts praise her poise. Fans flooded Twitter with memes, admiration, and tears. Even non-tennis fans began quoting her. It wasn't just a clapback. It was a declaration of independence. The world had seen Coco Gauff win matches. Now it saw her win. Heart speech ballooned to words. It became a movement. I don't need your script to tell my story. 10 words. They carried the weight to defiance, authenticity, and self-worth, especially in a world where athletes are often told what to say, how to act, and who to be. Social media was flooded with interpretations. Some said she was defending athletes from stereotyping. Others believed she was speaking for all, women who had a fight against being defined by others. A young fan on X, formerly Twitter, wrote, "Coco just told every girl out there you don't need anyone's permission to shine." Another posted, "That's not just a quote. That's an anthem rolled up newspaper global." Media reaction: BBC Sport Golf delivers a line of the year with a champion's calm. The New York Times Coco Gauff reads, "Athlete authenticity in 10 words. Gazzetta dello Sport Italy Favino versus Golf. When art met sport and truth won even, Pier Francesco Favino himself was caught off guard by the uproar for an A. Later press conference. He smiled and said, 'I admire Coco. She turned a passing comment into poetry. That's real talent.' Globe showing Europe, Africa, the deeper message. What made Coco's words so powerful? Was it just their defiance? It was their universality. They weren't about one actor, one sport, or one moment. They were about ownership, ownership of identity, ownership of one's narrative, ownership of one's journey. In a world where athletes are constantly under scrutiny, where every smile, every outfit, every pose is dissected, Coco's 10 words drew a line in the sand. You don't get to write my story. Light bulb, the psychology of the moment. Sports psychologists later analyzed a statement, calling it a rare example of controlled emotional intelligence under public pressure. Dr. Lena Moretti, a behavioral performance expert, said Gauff's response showed not just confidence, but self-defense. She didn't reject the criticism. She reframed it. That's the difference between reaction and leadership. Indeed, her calmness was what stunned everyone most. No anger, no defensiveness, just a truth that resonated deeper than any argument could. Microphone athletes around the world respond. Serena Williams posted on Instagram, "That's how you do it. Power, grace, and truth in 10 words." LeBron James tweeted Coco speaking for every athlete who's tired of being boxed in. Respect Naomi Osaka, known for her own authenticity battles, commented, "When Coco talks, the world listens." That's what leadership looks like. Camera with flash. The viral moment, the image of Coco at that press table. Calm eyes, slight smile, hands folded, became iconic. In interviews and fan letters, people of all ages share how a quote inspired them. One 14-year-old fan wrote, "I'm not an athlete, but I was afraid to be different. When Coco said those words, I felt brave again." Hey, retired teacher wrote, "Those 10 words should be printed on classroom walls. They teach confidence better than any book." Dove, the legacy. Months later, when Coco was invited to a global sports summit, she opened her keynote speech with humility. "I didn't mean to make headlines. I was just answering a question, but I guess that's how truth works. It doesn't need a microphone. It just needs a heartbeat." The crowd gave her a standing ovation. She closed and noted a Favino saying, "Maybe he was right about one thing. We are performers, but our performance isn't about applause. It's about honesty. It's about showing up even when the script isn't written for us." Candle epilogue. Today, those 10 words are etched on murals, locker rooms, and even classroom walls. I don't need your script to tell my story. They remind the world that greatness isn't about approval. It's about authenticity. Pier Francesco. Favino may have lit the match, but Coco Gauff turned it into a torch. A torch carried by every young athlete who refuses to be defined, every woman who refuses to be silenced, and every person who dares to live life unscripted. Because, in the end, that's what champions do. They don't follow the Script, they write it. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. 2. Next,